Hola, hi fashion doll lovers. My name is Christopher y bienvenidos to my channel. In today's video, I will be sharing my thoughts on Dolly Days, January 2024. I want to specifically mention that it's January 2024 just because Dolly Days seems to be very random. So let's specify that. So in this video, I will be talking about every single product that was presented to us in the 4 days of Dolly Days. So day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. So without further ado, let's get into day 1. Dolly Days 1 brings us Integrity Toys and Cold Carbon, a new collaboration between Integrity Toys and who I would call an independent designer. My reasons for saying independent designers are because from my point of view, from what I've seen, Mia 2000 is more established within the doll community and within doll brands. So to me, they're not as independent as Marina from Cold Carbon. Marina has a very strong following and a very strong point of view that's not often seen in the community, but to me she is, and she even mentioned it in her intro, more of an independent designer. So it's so exciting to see Integrity Toys reach out to people who have a strong voice in the community but might not have previous relationships within the doll company world, if anything I would say. But I won't get further into that. I'm going to go straight into our first doll that was introduced, which is Bellamy. I don't know why I froze, and I don't know why I didn't look at my notes. So if you guys see me looking down, I have my notes right here. So we're gonna move forward a little bit better. The first doll introduced was Bellamy Blue After Dark. Now this doll is a lottery doll. It will retail for $175 for W Club members, and then it will retail for $199 for outside club members. Watching this live was probably one of the best lives because hearing from the designer, especially a designer that had such a different point of view and such an in-depth story, was so fulfilling. I'm not big on vampires, but I appreciate that we finally have a woman. Round of applause for a woman designer. And second, a woman designer that came in with a story. Vampire hunters are not something you hear about very often. You hear about vampires, but other people that hunt them. And on top of that, I feel like this is something that we don't see from Integrity Toys. So I think it was so beautiful for Marina to come in and bring something so different. And that's what collaborations should really be about, is using the resources, but really bringing a different point of view. So from the moment it was introduced, the storyline, I was in for the story to enjoy it as a viewer. Bellamy Blue as a whole was not my cup of tea, but I really appreciate, and this is something that Carol mentioned in the video, from the moment you look at him, you think of a movie character. You know, Carol had mentioned one particular actor, and the reality is when you hear Marina mention the stories and then you look at their wardrobes, you're really like, wow, I feel the story. The wardrobe really brought in that character, and the more Marina really explained his personality, you really were able to see it through his outfit. You know, the very kind of laid back sheer button up with the flower print, this kind of lounge robe that he was wearing over it. It's very relaxed, but yet he has a presence, and he really is someone you can't keep your eyes from. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the first doll of day 1, and the first doll out of 4 dolls in this capsule collection by Marina Cold Carbon. The next doll is Blazing. Oh no, sorry. See, look at that. I already read it backwards. All Guns Blazing Jordan DeVille. Lottery $199. Price for outside club members is $220. Let me repeat that again just in case. She is a lottery doll, and for the W Club members, her price would be $199, and for the outside non-members, it's $220. Okay, now, see, the tongue pop came out. It just, Jordan is a doll we do not see very often. I think I have one in my collection. One. And I've been now collecting for going on 6 years, if I'm not mistaken. And I have to say, her beauty, she was stunning. She was just utterly stunning. Literally, I'm gonna say my only negative is she has flat feet, and I don't do flat feet, but I can get past that, okay? I can get past that. Now, I've seen some whispers here and there, and I'm gonna mention this more with Jordan, where a lot of community members, or dog collectors I would say, have said things along the lines of like, oh, Integrity Toys reframed her from her style. This isn't really her. They, I think, censored, things of that nature. And to that I'll say, if you've been following her for a while, which ironically enough, I actually have an outfit I purchased from her almost 5 years ago when she was still, her brand was still called Cheeky Couture, I believe. This was when she was selling outfits before she went to her one-of-a-kind dolls. If you've been following her journey, and if you take a look at her current Instagram account, you will see that she has evolved. And as an artist, she is currently playing with very different looks. Her current Instagram feed is a lot more glam than her previous work. So, to that I say, I do not think she was censored. I think she's exploring something new and chose to do it on this platform. I also think that as an artist, she has evolved and maybe her taste has come from a different point of view. I, looking at Jordan and looking at Bellamy and looking at her current feed, see that they make sense with her current look, and I do not think the company censored her. I will also share something that I saw that I agree with, and something that we have to consider is when Marina is doing cold carbon, she's doing it for herself with the materials that she can source, and she mentioned that in her live. Again, I highly recommend watching the live stream that she was on because it was just great to hear from an independent artist, like I mentioned. So what you see from her is what she has access to and what she can do freely without constraints. There goes the word. Now, it's not solely because she's working with Integrity Toys. She's not working with a factory, and not everything is available on a mass production scale. And that was also something that she mentioned in her live, where she mentioned it was a new experience to work with a factory, to work in production, and to really have to put something together differently. So to that I say, I don't think it was censored. I think it's just a different point of view. And also I think as humans, we need to remember that everyone has a vast interest in things, that we can't be pigeonholed into one thing, especially when you're an artist. Artists should be allowed to evolve, should be allowed to change, should be allowed to explore. That is how we learn. So, I really went into a splash with that one, but it was in my heart and I felt it and I needed to go, and I feel like we haven't talked about Jordan, so let me go back to Jordan. Okay. Jordan is stunning. I, as a restyler, just love the look because it gives me so many pieces to reuse. Now, talking about pieces, that's going to lead me to another conversation. I did see someone saying something like, oh, the price is too high, she doesn't come with enough. Are you kidding me? Let's compare her to Bellamy really quickly. And I say compare because they're within the same collection. Bellamy has one gun, she has two. Two guns probably upped her production cost. That is the word. Production cost. She also comes with a suitcase, a small suitcase. That suitcase alone, I'm positive, brought up the production cost. 2 items already. The third item that I spoke with a collector friend of mine who I love speaking with because we started at the same time, so we've kind of evolved the same. Her coat is from a much heavier fabric than Bellamy's is, and it's a lot longer and a lot more intricate. Those 3 items alone in production probably brought up her cost, which is why she is the cost that she is. So I personally am not upset because I'm looking at the items, and as a collector that's been collecting for a while, I understand that those 3 items probably brought her price up. If we were to remove the coat and remove the bag and keep the second gun, I would say she probably would have cost a little less because I think those 2 items in total definitely brought up the price of the value. The cost of the production. So for those that are like not understanding, I don't think we're fully ever going to understand if we're not in that role. And a lot of the times it's best to try to switch our perspective instead of judging, because there's so many things we cannot control from behind the scenes. And either we love the product or we don't. And, I would love us to get more in that concept of love it or don't. Move on. Jordan, sweetie, I love you and I've been missing you. And I loved the color combination of the skin and the hair. I'm going to end it there because I just love it. So with that, we end day 1 of the Dolly days and the end of the intro of the Cold Carbon capsule collection. So we were introduced to 2 dolls out of a capsule of 4, and the other 2 will be announced later this year. Dolly Days number 2 brings us to East 59th Street. I'm gonna be honest, kind of forgot that they existed. Sorry, not sorry. It's just not a brand I collect, so it's not a brand I think of. And I also don't think we see a lot of collections from them that often. So yeah, I must be honest with you. When I saw the little snippet of the suitcase, I automatically thought Poppy Parker. But East 59th Street makes sense. Now, I will also say, there was some shocking surprise with this collection that I actually really considered. So let's get into the East 59th Street Weekend in the Poconos, if I'm not mistaken. The Weekend in the Poconos. Because they definitely are traveling. So our first lady of East 59th Street is going to be Stroll in the Woods. As mentioned, I don't want to butcher anyone's name, but the information will be on the side. Now, this doll is a dealer doll. She is quoted at $160, and I'm going to be honest with you. The first 2, I think the word that I have is flat. I feel like as you remove some layers, she got a little bit better, but the look overall was just a little bit overwhelmed with the red, I think. And with the jacket, I don't know, there was something that was just too much and not enough at the same time. When you remove her jacket and you see her with just her top and pants, the simpler look is cute, and I appreciate it for that, but the honest truth is, she just, yeah, there was lack of words, honestly, which is kind of crazy. I will point out, though, she comes with flat feet, and although she comes with flat feet and flat shoes, an extra pair of high heels feet are included. I don't know why in my brain everything's like a tongue twist right now. And I point that out because with Jordan from day one, she also comes with flat feet, but an additional set of feet were not included in the accessories. And I'm a little sad about that because I'm a high heel boy. But anyways, do want to point out that although she is photographed with flat feet and she comes with flats, an extra pair of legs for the high heels are included in her accessory bag. Our second doll in the East 59th Street capsule collection, I'm gonna call it a capsule because it was just for dolls, is Seeing the Sights. Dealer doll again, also in $60. The price is standard for all of the dolls, if I'm not mistaken. The guy right now is a little bit of a question. And the 3 girls are dealers while the guy is lottery. Just so you know, because it's gonna sound repetitive for the first 3. Just wanted to put that out there. My notes just say no. No. I have to say that with the first doll, although I felt that she was flat, just gave me no feelings. When you remove some of her layers, there was something there. I feel like with this doll, no matter what you do, it just wasn't there. I also am thinking like the coloring of the hair and the screening. I remember that standing out and I'm being like, it feels soft, but yet it feels off. So out of the capsule, I would say she is my weakest link. I was trying to find another word, but it wasn't coming out. I'm gonna say it. Out of the 4 dolls included in the set, she would be in 4th place if I was to put them in places. Number 1 would be in 3rd. Kind of gives you a heads up to the last 2 that I'm about to talk about. Our 3rd doll is Traveling in Style. And baby, is she ever! Once again, she is a dealer doll, and her price is $160. Ooh, my only note here is love. Now, I am not an East 59th Street collector, but there are moments and there are times when I see a particular doll and I can see that outfit being used today. I think of my collection and my wardrobe very current. I dabble in a little bit of like glam here and there, and I've been kind of doing a little bit more casual wear. So East 59th Street doesn't really have like a home, but time and time again, there's an outfit that says to me, you're teasing me. This was it. Something about the silhouette, something about the pattern, something about the colors, something about my hands right now just doing a lot. It felt very Christian Dior, and I loved it. And it could translate into modern, I think. It's one of those looks that just, she felt like a whole package. You know, like I said with the first two, there were things here and there that just didn't feel right, but she was the full package. And crazy enough, I didn't even notice that she had high heels until I went back to look at the photos before filming the video to like refresh my mind. And you know, maybe my mind clicked to that because the first two dolls come with flat feet and flat shoes, or flats, really. And both of those girls include an extra pair of high heel shoes because most of the East 59 Street girls are known for high heels. Maybe this was the more glam look out of the three, and that's why I liked it. But she had pieces that would make it casual if you were restyling. So out of the three girls, she was definitely my top pick. If, again, I was to dabble into East 59th Street, this is what I would dabble into. And last but not least, in the East 59th Street capsule collection, I was going to stumble on my words right there, we have Falling Leaves Large Drape. Now, I know this name because I own this doll. He is the only one that's up for lottery. His W Club member price is $160, but for outside members, or not for outside members, but for people that are not a part of the club, he'll be $170. Ooh, child, let me compose myself, because when I tell you, yeah. There was one particular photo, and when I think of the photo, I think of the comment, face card never declines. This would be the face. And also there's something about this version of him that when I see him, I want to put him with my new face group. There's something youthful, there's something mysterious, there's something rebellious. It gives me all of the feels and I am in love. So yeah, not even gonna hide it from you, I joined the lottery. I'm not gonna hide it from you because I don't got no control over the lottery. So I might as well just say that I have joined the lottery. So yes, lack of words because it's just scrumptious, yummy. Love it. Okay, now let's get into Dolly Day 3. I will say that this email was a little odd just because the timing of the emails has been not consistent. So on day 3, I kind of was like, are we getting an email? Is it over? I was very confused. But the email came in also at the time that I was pretty busy. So a friend was like, did you see it? It's raining men. And when she said raining men, I thought it was plural. So when I went to the email, it's the only one, I was like, just one? Interesting. So then when I let that shock get over me, I looked at him and I was like, okay. But before we get to further details about him, let's just, describe him or his title, right? Something like that. Power Workout, Tenzin, don't know the last name. He is a basic. I believe for outside members, he will be $109, and for W Club members, he is $99 with a $25 deposit. And apologies for the sound. I am trying to get this done as quickly and best as possible, which means I'm filming in the daytime. So if you heard it, great. And if you didn't, disregard what I just said. I'm actually very excited that we have a Monarch Basic. I actually really love the basic line. I love the basic idea. I will say for the first time for Monarch to be introduced as a basic, the greedy in me, I'm going to call it for what it is, would have loved to see 2. I feel like when all of the lines were introduced, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like it's been a while, my brain's not working, we were introduced with maybe 2, or maybe we introduced from 1 from every line. It was 1 from every line. So seeing him being introduced by himself was a little odd, but nevertheless, I appreciate we're getting a Monarch Basic. I'm appreciating his idea of the basic, where it's like a workout and it's just like not regular shorts and a tank. Like, love him, and I actually really do love his feel. The description said new Hispanic, so I wonder if the skin tone is something new and doesn't look new. But also, we've mentioned this a lot on my channel, they've been changing factories if I'm not mistaken, so it could be a skin color that we know from somewhere else and it's not being called something else. Putting that out there. I love him. I like him. I love him. I want him. As a gay man, I'm not gonna lie. If he gets me happy, then I want him. It's kind of how I buy my boys. It really is. you know? And I was actually talking to a friend and I was like, how interesting. You're interested in day 1, day 2, and I'm interested in day 2, day 3. Because Bellamy Blue just didn't do it for me personally, but I love what he is for other people. But Lard and Tenzin, it's a different story, okay? And I also want to say, while we're here on day 3, it's been a boy-heavy day. I mean, boy-heavy week. Boy-heavy week. And we appreciate that. So, although they might not be to everyone's liking, I want to give a shout out for them at least trying to give you a little bit of everything. Each guy was different. He came from a different collection. He had a different feel. There was diversity in the feels of the guys. Okay, let me be clear as to what I'm talking about when it comes to diversity. They have different styles. Diversity in style, I should clarify. And also the fact that there was a boy every day. That's really rare. I feel like the last time we had Dolly days, there wasn't actually a boy. Was there one? I think there was one, and he was part of gift set. So, shout outs to getting 3 boys in 3 days. And today is day 4, the final day of Dolly days. And let me tell you, I personally think we've closed this Dolly day with a bang. So let's get into the final product that was introduced to us on day 4. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a modular trunk system, base unit and IT exclusive. Woo! Okay. Let me give you the price, and then let me get into some spleesh, because there's a lot of emotions with this particular item, but we'll get there in a second. So for the W Club members, it would be the price for the base unit will be $225 with a $50 deposit, and then for those that are not W Club members, it will be $250. Now, when I say base unit, it is a 2-part carrying case with a 1 doll storage compartment, 1 standing mirror, 1 shoe and boot rack, 1 basic shelving unit, 1 closet compartment, 10 chrome plated metal hangers, and 1 2-door armoire. That is what you're getting for the price. That is the unit as it comes. And when I tell you, when this email came in, I was floored, I was gassed, and I had to send a very quick message to my Dolly bestie because I've been dreaming about this moment. Let me explain. I come from the era, and when I say I come from, when I was a kid, doll cases were very popular. You know, Barbie wasn't the only one making them back in the days. A lot of people used to make them, and there was variety in colors and in style, and I don't recall ever having one. You know, I don't. And my sister, to this day, still has her 18-inch doll carry case, which is it's very similar to this one, honestly. And I remember looking at that case and being like, I wish there was a case like that for dolls that I collect. So when I say that, I mean more like the fashion dolls and not an 18-inch doll. But the fashion doll cases were always plastic, or they were too pink. I could never find anything that fit what I wanted to carry around. And collecting as an adult, although those things would have made sense organizational-wise, it just didn't make sense aesthetic. So when this email came in, I think the first thought in my mind was I never thought I would see this in the years that I was collecting. I say that because IT has done a carrying case before, but it's been ages, way before I started collecting, I believe, and I'm entering, I think, my 6th year. I'm not really good at counting. So I didn't think they would do this, honestly. They also have what I would say for a very long period of time not produced, I don't want to call them accessories, because that can be interpreted in different ways, but they haven't really been producing items to go along with the dolls. Let's say that. Because I've done a little bit of a deep dive into the past, and there was a point when there was furniture, there was a point when there was a carrying case, there was a point when there were dioramas. So there was a phase in Integrity's life where they were producing the things that a lot of the collectors now I think would have loved, but they had stopped for a while. So never did I ever think that this would ever happen in the years of collecting. But there's more. So they introduced a modular trunk system, right? Okay, my word, I was gonna say carrying case, and I was like, that's not how they worded it. In addition, they also introduced 3 items that you can interchange from the basic unit you have. So the first one is a light up cabinet, which for the club members would be $50 with a $10 deposit, and for non-club members it's $60. These items can be interchangeable. I just said that, my brain adapting. Now, I will say this one thing about the items. I love the 3 items that they introduced. So I should probably just mention the other 2, shouldn't I? Because it's just 3. So we mentioned the light up cabinet. Bear with me. We also have a 6-drawer cabinet, which for the members is $45 with a $10 deposit, and for non-members $55. And then we have a closet compartment, which is $45 for members, $10 deposit, $55 for non-members, and the closet compartment will come with will come with 10 extra hangers. Actually, yeah, I should have mentioned the 3, which I did, because the closet compartment is actually where I have something to say. And this isn't a negative. This is actually one of those things that, like, when you see something, your mind thinks of other things when you're like a creative, or when you think of other outside things. I say that because a lot of the interchangeable pieces are like on one side of the carrying case, and I really would have loved there to be one additional piece for the other side. And when I mean the other side, I mean the side where the doll and the shoe rack / boot rack is at. Because the closet compartment that they are selling an additional one of is short. And I, for one, and maybe this is a me problem, so I'm just sharing champagne problems as I call it. It's a me problem. I have evening gowns. Okay, where is my evening gown going? I'm not putting it. Am I supposed to store it in the armoire, folded? Am I supposed to stuff it in a drawer? Am I supposed to put it in the closet but fold it under? There's nothing there hanging. Also, I think of traveling. A reason why I'm so excited about a traveling trunk is because I do take my dolls traveling, and it's something that I've always envisioned wearing my integrated toys dolls, and something that I do. So I actively see myself using this. I don't know how functional the shoe rack is going to be when I'm traveling. I'm sure when you put it on display when you arrive, it's great, but in moving pieces, like, I'm not gonna have the shoes there. I'm probably gonna have to store them in a drawer and then take them out, kind of thing. So for me, I would have loved a 4th additional item sold in a long format that could replace where the shoe rack is at. Because currently, where the doll storage and the shoe rack is located, which is on the other side of the carrying case, there's nothing to interchange those. I mean, you could change the placement of them, but there's nothing else. The 3 items that were sold separately pretty much just fit in that one window. So again, this is not a negative. This is just one of those things that when you see something, you're like, oh, that would have been nice. But I still love what I got, and I'm really excited, and I'm really happy because let me tell you something. If you haven't already, I was just in Disney, and I made a doll vlog. It was my first ever doll vlog. And this case would have come in handy with all the things I packed, okay? Because my girl had a wardrobe, okay? Wardrobe. So it would have been nice to have this with us while we were traveling, so I could see everything that I had. And, you know, just saying, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see it, to have it, and to take it around the world and travel with my girls. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of Dolly Days. Thank you so much for tuning into my video, and thank you so much for, listening to me rabble and go down this rabbit hole of 4 days. I'm actually really excited to see what else is to come. I'm really excited to see what the new club year has for us. And until next time, guys, adios.